I would like to make a motion to terminate effective immediately Kamal Woods.
Second.
Trustee Wiedemann,
Yes.
Trustee Carlisle,
Yes.
Supervisor Pro Tem Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passed.
I would like to make a motion to terminate effective immediately William Moore.
Second.
Okay, Trustee Wiedemann,
Yes.
Trustee Carlisle,
Yes.
Supervisor Pro Tem Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passed.
This is what Kamal Woods put on his Facebook after getting fired. In real life, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hashtag playing for keeps, hashtag Rock Island everything, hashtag independent thinker. So I guess he's taking it very well. So if you get caught fighting at your job, you probably gonna get fired. Kamal Woods was involved in a fight that even if Jed said what he said, if Kamal would have sat down, just took it on the chin, exercised some emotional maturity, some restraint, he will still have his job, even though he wasn't doing anything anyway. But he had to step up with 5,000 cameras showing and engage into a fight where his woman had to jump in and help him. That usually means you lose your job. Being placed on paid leave, obviously, I think a lot of residents didn't appreciate that, but now he is officially fired. It makes sense. You can't fight, and especially you are running a youth program. You're supposed to be setting an example, right? And you're not elected. You were hired. He is fired along with William Moore that was serving as, what was William Moore doing? He was assistant or something? But both are gone. But this is also a bigger example of why it's important that you just don't hire your friends. You need to provide background checks for everybody. I know a lot of people like Trustee Carlisle, but if you guys remember from Lightfoot's report, she said, based on Freeman, I think it was Freeman, it was Carmen Carlisle, that based on background checks, they probably shouldn't have been even considered based on the background checks. You can't just hire your friends. Kamal Woods, I don't know if he knew much about running a youth program. I mean, at least even with Keith Price, he's at least a politician in this Southland politics game. Kamal Woods had no business running anything. He's done. Making six figures, and I have not seen one time at all. At least Keith Price, you could say the food pantry, he's around the food. You could cue the jokes if you want. But I never see Kamal Woods do anything. Henyard never even mentions anything about Kamal Woods and what he's doing. Not even like a fake, good job Kamal Woods with the basketball team or hanging out with the kids or nothing. She didn't even mention him. She just hires her friends. She hires people, and then in that way, she has control, even though they have no business running that department. And here's a reporter asking Trustee Gonzalez why they decided to fire William Moore. I think Trustee Gonzalez had a pretty good answer.
Mr. Moore was not involved in the fight. Why the rush to eliminate his position as well and terminate him?
Well, there was definitely, just going back to last week, there were definitely some instances of being insightful and things like that, and being disrespectful to some of the residents, or even if there were residents, the people that were here.
Trustee Gonzalez had a pretty good point. He may not have had necessarily a big outburst, but he did, I think, either slap someone's phone out their hand, or this is like way back, I forgot. It was something he did that caused a big uproar. He antagonizes some of the residents. When you're in public office, you gotta take the hits, and you can't necessarily go back and forth. Even if the residents are emotional, you still have to maintain some level of, again, maturity. Kind of just take it. They're not happy with you. They're not happy with administration. But I think with William Moore, he just did a lot of weird, creepy things. The recording, the sneak dissing, doesn't work.
And it's unfortunate. A lot of us are old, but we're not mature. Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we have this age, but we don't have maturity. Quiet. So I just want to make it clear. Absolutely clear. Ma'am, if I did not get another dime from this village because I believe in the vision of this leader, I would come here and volunteer. No. Yep. I would come here and volunteer. Because, let me tell you why. Yep. Let me tell you why. Okay, part-time hecklers, let me tell you why. Part-time hecklers, let me tell you why. Officers, please stop. Let me tell you why. Because there are residents that call that phone every single day. Okay, I'm here 7:30 in the morning till whatever time it is it takes to get the job done. That's right. That's what a true leader does. It's true. That's what a true leader does. So because of the residents that deserve this type of service, I will be here. Because it's more to life than just money.
I think the next meeting is next month, probably. When I said in the last video that the chaos won't stop and it's going to keep going, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. I'll just discuss one quick thing. I can't confirm or deny this, but even the new Dalton police chief seems like he has not come back to work since he came on Tuesday. We'll confirm that, because it's interesting. The news didn't report anything at all about this. The fact that Henyard walked into the police station and just said, this is the new chief, Daryl Schroed. Schroed? Let me get a picture of him in case you guys may not know who he looks like. This is just gentleman here. So again, can't confirm or deny, but the man has not come back. Maybe he wasn't paying attention. Maybe he wasn't following the news and didn't realize, oh, bleep, I got myself into some nonsense, and maybe I shouldn't be dealing with this. You know, this was not what I expected. What did he tell him that even for him to decide it? I don't know. According to the court, and I appreciate the email that sent this to me, she was not allowed to make any appointments at all. It was told to her, you're not supposed to make any appointments. And she did anyway. So maybe he didn't want to get involved in the legal nonsense. So he decided, you know what? Let me back out. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so this order says Tiffany Henyard is restrained from making any further appointments without the advice and consent of the Board of Trustees, consistent with the applicable law or court order. So she wasn't even supposed to do that. So maybe he just was not paying attention to what was going on. Maybe I'll give him that. He's a career law enforcement official. Maybe he didn't know. Not everyone's following this as much as possible. She's too toxic at this point. I wouldn't hitch my wagon to her at all. Shroud is friends with, oh really, Mayor Clark in Harvey, Christopher Clark. And he decided to bounce. He's not running for a supervisor anymore. That's interesting. He might be, but if he wants him there, what do we not know? Good point. Good point. The story is all over the place. So for him to receive a call from Henyard and think, let's say if what you're saying it could be true. Clark said, listen, Henyard, I got a guy for you. He's not active, but whatever. His credentials look pretty decent, even though there's some gaps in employment and some issues there, but you should take him. That means he does know what's going on, and he still decided to do it, and then realized the backlash was so bad that he decided not to show back up for work. But we'll see in a couple of days if he actually is not going to show up at all. But the news for today is Mayor Henyard's boyfriend has been fired from the township. And you can say her sycophant, her biggest fan, William Moore, is gone as well. So both are no longer working for the township. Now at this point, it's just Keith Price and Henyard. I don't think there's any more officials. And you know, if you had a reason why this should be fired, first, Kamal Woods, what's your job? You probably couldn't answer that because I think he's just getting paid just to do nothing. Same thing for William Moore. You have been nothing but really, really creepy and weird to the residents as you try to defend Tiffany Henyard. Again, what do? Other than defend Henyard, you should probably go too. So good fire. Keith Freeman used to work for the township. He only works as a village administrator in Dalton, and he is protected under whistleblower status. He is snitching. So I know there was another question about can Tiffany may drop some information on others, but if Keith Freeman was running the day-to-day operations and he was running all this stuff and he was connected to her hip, he probably already said everything. So even if Henyard says, I know this, I know that, the feds may say, yeah, we already know that. Freeman told us. Well, I don't know, they'll say that, but Freeman dropped everything, the beans, as they say. So what leverage does Henyard has? The only way this works is that she needs to include everyone in that administration that did something wrong without her knowledge. Because the only thing now she can say is, I don't have any of my names on the credit cards. I didn't purchase anything. They did. You know, I can't keep track of everybody. So that's the defense that she's going to use. So we'll see where that goes. Like I said earlier, Dalton, and obviously the township is connected, but especially Dalton as a village, they need to run a textbook government with no weird, shady, like muddy, confusing situation. Everything needs to be by the book because a lot of people are watching.